And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. This is the Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povektin post-fight discussion, the review, the investigation, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, with me, you know how it goes. I don't just like to go into these investigations by myself. I always like to have somebody who knows about the sport of boxing, knows what it's like to get to the top and become a champion. So, I know. I welcome back to the show once again my brother, the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Bermane Stiverne. Bermane, how are we doing?
Doing all right. I'm doing good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So, Piotr is one of your biggest fans, as you know, from Poland, and he just said, good evening. Hello.
I can see it. Oh, I see it.
You see the comments, do you?
I can see it.
That's not meant to be happening, so we'll have to stop that. Okay, no, I'm joking.
You always got some new stuff. I don't know where you get
that. You got to switch it up, innit? You got to switch it up. Can't come with the same style all the time. You got to switch it up, you know?
All right.
You know what I mean? You got to switch it up. So, evening, Ingram, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it too. So, we're going to get straight into this investigation. So, before I even talk about Whyte versus Povetkin, you were once meant to face Alexander Povektin. What was the thinking when you were going to fight Povetkin, and what were the things you thought Povetkin's strengths were at the time?
That fight, I remember probably that was the fight that I was probably mentally and physically ready for. I was in tip-top shape. As you can see, I was ready in shape. I was ready to go over there and just, there was no way I was going to lose a fight. That's a fight that he's the kind of fighter that's like tailor-made for me. Got like, Areola, Povetkin, what's his name, Trezoria, these kind of guys. I love these kind of guys. So, when I went over there, like I said, we were all confident, but unfortunately, we know what happened. It didn't happen because of Povetkin using the banned substance. So it just never happened. It's unfortunate, But that would have been a good. That was a fight that I would.
Nice fight. So going into the fight, Povetkin, what were you working on, or would you not talk about that now because there may be still a possibility you would face Povetkin, or you quite openly will talk about it now?
Not very much different from what I did with Areola, except being a little bit more busier.
Okay. What do you think at that time? What was Povetkin's strengths at that time, you felt, and what you had to be careful of as a fighter?
He's a very. I think what saved him a lot is because he's a very technical fighter. Like you can see with the knockout he won this past weekend or yesterday. The way he got in and just delivered the uppercut. It's not just the uppercut that you just throw. You gotta anticipate and gotta be technical. So you can see the his body movement, the movement, and he went in and just delivered that uppercut. That shows you that he's a good technical fighter.
People would say
he don't move much with his feet. Stays in front of you, but what saves him again is him being technical.
I was listening to Dillian Whyte's post-fight, and the talk around is he was ahead on the points, he was doing well, he got the 2 knockdowns. and he, the fight. Some people say it's a lucky punch. Povetkin got lucky. What are your thoughts on that?
No, it's not lucky. I mean, I had Dillon up in my card.
I had him up on my card as well. He had the 2 knockdowns.
Especially after the two knockdown, I had him like at least 3 points, ahead. So, but you can't say it's lucky because listen, people that say that this punch was lucky, they don't know boxing. Because if you watch maybe the second, third, or even the first round, the first round, he tried the same punch, but it didn't work. But he kept on doing it. It was missing. Dillon would move in, or Dillon would block, or he would do the move, but then would be a little too late with the uppercut. When he finally did it again in round 6, and he
5.
got it. Yeah, 5. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is something that they practice in the gym, or they saw that Dillon was vulnerable to that kind of to that punch. So for him to try and keep him trying that, I'm guessing it's just something that they saw in practice in the gym, in camp before the fight.
Now, in my pre-fight breakdown, one of the key things, one of the things I had a massive concern with when it came to Dillian Whyte was the way he puts his hands up and the way he got knocked down by Joseph Parker, the way he got knocked down by Rivas. He didn't see the uppercut from Rivas. His back was against the ropes. Didn't see the uppercut from Rivas. Didn't see the straight right hand coming straight through the middle from Parker. And then the way he got knocked out by Joshua. Those are 3 punches he didn't really see coming. And the way Joshua knocked him out and the way Povetkin knocked him out were very similar. And I said, for Dillian Whyte to win this fight, what he's got to be very careful of is his back against the ropes, because that's where he got knocked down by Parker, Joshua, and now Povetkin and Rivas. So, I mean, to me, when he does this, I said, Povetkin will come straight through the middle here with the overhand, which he was doing from round 1. Will come through here. And if he can't find an open there, he'll come round the corner. So you dip. So you throw your right hand here, dip. And then, as you think it's the right hand coming here, he comes up through the middle or through the hook. But that was something that he was doing over and over again.
Not necessarily, because I remember doing that. I did that a lot with Areola, and it was pretty much to set him up. I mean, I don't know how he does it, but it's more of a setup than using it as defense, or if you use it as defense, do but half a second or something, or it's defense, but it's a setup also. But I mean, when I remember doing it with Areola, was more of a setup. You know, this is where fighters like that's stationary. When you put your hands up, this is where they plant their feet and they start, engaging or punching their opponent.
This call for a rematch and Dillian Whyte saying the rematch is on. Do you think it's too soon? Or do you think it's right for him to go straight back into the deep end again?
Is that?
Yeah, he's saying the rematch is on.
I don't know. That's a it's a tough one. I had Dillon winning the fight. That's what I thought that was going to happen, but I don't know. It's rematch. I don't know.
Is there a possibility here? The mindset is, well, I was winning the fight until I got caught, as opposed to saying, you know what, Povetkin's experience and his class made me make a mistake, and that's how he was able to knock me out. Because when you say things like, I was ahead in the fight and I got caught, you think to yourself, well, okay, all I have to do the same thing again.
I mean, I can't say he got caught. It's the way that Povetkin came on the inside and delivered that uppercut. That's not getting caught. That's Povetkin work his way.
In technical.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like I said, he if you look at the fight, you watch the fight, round one, especially second, third, the first three rounds, Povetkin was doing that particular that uppercut. He was trying, but never prevailed with it. And he kept on trying. And then the fifth round was what happened after
He
he
just
got knocked out.
Yeah, when he got knocked down, did he look visibly hurt to you in your experience?
No. The first one, no. The second one, maybe. But the first one was a flash. You can see it was just a flash. But the second one, he was probably a little bit, not too much, but a little more than the first one.
What I found quite interesting, when he was in the corner, they were asking me, "You okay?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm right." He's like, "Yeah, like yeah." And the energy when he gets off the stool was like, "Yeah, right, now I'm going to get into another gear." He's got up and he went for White, and the next thing, White's on the canvas. That for me is something that was what worried me. The other stuff, this guy has just turned up a notch. So was it that he turned up a notch and White lost concentration? Or was it levels there? Was it concentration? What was it in your opinion?
I don't know. Maybe he realized that, Dillon punch can't hurt him or something. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a punch that see things like that. You really gotta experience the who you fight, the the way to hear, if you're not heard, the power and everything. So if you feel like you can walk through his punches and you're comfortable to you're not afraid. It all depends. He could have been knocked down and be like, whoa, this guy could hit, so I got to be careful. And just like he could have been like, oh, he knocked me down, but
it was the way Povetkin got off the stool for that round. He got off the stool like, okay, all right, I'm playing with you enough now. This is serious business. He got up and he went, right, boom.
probably when he got down, two time, he probably told himself, "Oh man, it's time to work now. So I can't be playing with this man. So let me just go and you know throw some more punches or start working what I've been told to work. It depends. It depends.
Is White good enough to beat Povetkin in the rematch? Should it happen in, I don't know, November, December time?
A little too soon. Oh, probably a little too soon. November.
What would you?
That's not. That's not.
I mean, that's soon, isn't it? I mean, we're coming in. We're coming in September.
Which means you got to go right back to camp in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now.
And concussion and all that stuff. Does that not? Don't you have time to recover and all that stuff, and then getting hit in the head again? I mean, isn't there a 90-day period where you don't spar or something like that? Or is there some rule about when you get concussed?
Maybe next spring, something like that. Like I don't know, March or something. That would have been enough time. Yeah, because you listen. People say the fight is too close. But it's not even the fight that's too close. It's the preparation. You still got to spar. You still got to get hit in sparring. You know, so it's not just the fight. I would have preferred. It'd been better for him to have the rematch maybe March, April.
2 defeats back to back. Where does that put Dillian Whyte? Should that happen to him?
He said 2 defeats back to back. That's a good one.
Because
the way boxing is today, ranking don't mean nothing.
That's true. That is pretty true.
You can have one fight and you right back in the mix. But nah, I don't. Boxing is not what it was back in the days. You got to work your way up to the rankings and stuff like that. But nowadays it just takes what money and one good fight. That's all it takes. Is a promoter got enough money and friends with whoever from the organization, it's, that's all that matters.
Let's talk about this situation. It was 1,000 days that Dillian Whyte didn't get his fight. He didn't get a chance to fight for the WBC title. People are saying, well, he should have fought Luis Ortiz. He should have fought for the IBF mandatory against spot with Kubrat Pulev. He went to WBC, took it legal, and WBC said, right, after Tyson Fury fights Wilder, the winner of that must face Dillian Whyte in the spring of next year or February of next year. Now that Whyte did that, he paid all those legal fees. The WBC obviously being one of their champions previously. How would the WBC view? He's gone. Are you there, Berman? Oh well, lights out for Berman. He'll be back. We've all seen current belt-holding heavyweights fall to a punch. Nobody's done or over, just divas realizing what hard punches mean. Okay. It seems like Whyte wasn't listening to his corner respect issues there, in my opinion. Castro said, Naz Castro says, yes, Dillian, good enough to beat Povetkin in a rematch. Okay. Whyte seems to relax and switch off, which you can't do against Povetkin. He can win rematch, but he wasn't the hungry Whyte we know. Okay, that's very interesting. Stacey Cross says that. I want to throw something up to the people in the room while we wait for Berman to join us in the room again. Do you think that Dillian Whyte's previous kickboxing style had anything to do with either way he throws his right hand, squares himself up and gets himself caught by Povetkin and Rivas and Parker? Do you think his kickboxing style of the past is a hindrance and is holding him back? Or do you think it doesn't play a factor whatsoever in this fight against Povetkin? Back is...
back.
Hello, sir. Thought the electricity went out.
No, I had a call.
Okay, fair enough. So I was saying about WBC. How would they have seen? Obviously, you know WBC. I don't say you know them, but you're one of their belt holders. You were one of their belt holders. How would they have deemed this situation of Whyte taking legal action against them, and then obviously now Whyte getting beat? How would they have seen that, the WBC? Moving swiftly on. Moving very swiftly on to the next question.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, as well. And we'll move on. We'll move very swiftly on. So, do you think his kickboxing backgrounds had anything to do with the technical issues he may have faced that night?
No, because I used to kickbox as well too.
But then, having said that, Vitaly Klitschko kickboxed, and he wasn't a bad heavyweight, was he?
Yeah, I used to be a kickboxer. Actually, at the same time as Adonis Stevenson, we were in the
Oh,
same school, same everything. So it has nothing to do with
so
that.
that doesn't bring it.
Actually, I think it helps.
Really?
It has nothing to do with that. So,
Okay.
different.
Because BG London says, I don't think Dillon's kickboxing background is an issue. Maybe amateur experience. What about that? But he was wasn't he a champion kickboxer, Dillian Whyte? That's what I understood. Is he either British or European British kickboxing champion?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay, so there was some issues in the corner. Maybe talk to us about. I don't know if you can talk to us about it, but the effects of a fighter that may not have respect for his trainer. What sort of issues what are the symptoms or what are the
If I don't,
um,
if I don't respect my trainer or don't believe in him, then he can't be my trainer.
really
If I don't respect my trainer or you know don't believe in him, why would he be my trainer? See,
there are some
you
guys.
you could also believe in a guy that don't know nothing, but you believe in him. You
Yeah,
know,
but there was a certain heavyweight champion of the world who, you know, basically it seemed that he was running the camp. He was running the camp and he was telling the trainer what to do. And this went on for a long time. He ran the camp. I
yeah,
mean, how could you potentially have, for example, a heavyweight champion of the world being trained by a fighter, still a current fighter, that you would have probably knocked out in a couple of rounds, and he's your trainer? Let me put it this way: if you fought somebody you knocked out in a couple of rounds, yeah, and then they still have that fighting career, they decide to come on and become your trainer. How could you? How could you respect that trainer? Knowing every time you look across, he tells you you're not throwing them punches correctly. You look across and say, "I've knocked you out before." How do you? It's slightly different, but it's still that element of disrespect or.
but the skills of fighting and the skills of knowing boxing are two different things. You know, you might know boxing, but that don't mean that you could physically and perform the, the discipline. That don't. Let's think for instance. You believe every fan of boxing or the greatest fighters in the world, they'll tell you anything. Never lace a glove, never lace a glove, never punch a bag. But they know everything about boxing.
Oh yeah, I've come across them.
And they tell you what to do, how to do it. But you never you
Got in the
never
ring,
lace a glove, like you never been in the glove, you
not
know
taking a
what it's
punch,
like to take punch or punch somebody. How you gonna tell me to do that?
or taste your own blood, or get hit with a body shot and come train
That's
when you
why I
don't want to train.
say even if it's a trainer that was never really good in the sport of boxing. He had maybe 53 losses, 3 wins, it doesn't mean that he don't know boxing. If you think, for example, let me take you an example. A guy like Emmanuel Auguste,
Yes.
terrible record, right?
Yeah.
But a great fighter.
Oh yeah.
And most of his losses should have been a win.
Mm-hmm.
If you take him as a trainer, you don't know who he is. People are gonna be like, oh, you gonna take a guy like this to train him? A guy that got 30 something defeat and 15 wins, but then you get Emmanuel Augustus, like one of the greatest fighters. You know, that's why I say it don't really matter of what you know and what you could do in the ring. These are two different things.
Okay. Let me throw
Me,
something else.
I'm a terrible teacher.
Yeah.
I cannot train nobody for shit. Can't.
It's good you're honest about it. What about your trainer in training camp goading you to spar with him? And when you're training, he's goading you to spar with you.
I don't understand.
Well, he's in camp, and you and him are in camp, and your trainer turns to you and wants to not fight with you, but goad you when you spar, like says you ain't
Why?
nothing. You ain't. Yeah, your trainer's goading you in training. You got your
Why?
trainer wants to have a fight with you. Well, you're not have a fight, but wants to. I'm just saying. You say why,
No,
but I say why too. But I'm asking the question, what you think of it.
nah, not a good look.
See, because you've done things in a professional way. You've done things at the highest level in a professional way. So when
If
you
it's a
listen and
play
your
around,
experience today's
if it's a play around, okay, we'll play around, but nothing to the as if I'm having a sparring session and getting ready for a fight. This is nonsense.
okay. Okay. So let me ask you another question. You've got two trainers. You've been in camp with one trainer for I don't know, a month, 2 months. You've been working together on and off in England. You've been working together in England quietly for a while, working on things. Then you go across to Portugal. There's the coronavirus. So you've got the lockdown. Then you spent all that time in camp together. You come back to England. As you come back to England with this coach, you just announced as head coach. The other coach you had before, you fire him. That was the guy that got you to number one. You fire him. You bring this. The other coach you have in is less experienced, but you bring him on. You get back to the UK, and then you bring in a coach that's got more experience than the coach you've got with you, and that coach is overseeing the corner on the week of the fight. Tell me the what that could lead to in a corner with an overseer who's got more experience than the actual head coach in the corner.
It's a catastrophe.
Why?
It's no good. First of all, you can't have you can't have two trainers because one will always feel like he knows more than the other one, and they're gonna go back and forth. You know the way I've been doing, I do it. Only one chief commander. You know,
If you're
it
chief and
doesn't mean
commander,
it doesn't mean that the others cannot give their opinion
right,
and suggest.
right.
Because we all a team. But at the end of the day, I need somebody that's there to make the decision. You know,
So you got
I
one
don't need
captain.
to create, tension and you know.
So how did that help Dillian Whyte in his corner that night? Having your head coach less experienced than the guy overseeing the head coach on the biggest fight of your career?
It could leave me. I could speak for me. It would leave me confused and I can't say once I had that in my career. I didn't have it like that, but I had it as if where someone wanted to be the
Head coach.
the chief. Yeah.
And how do you handle situations like that when you've got somebody who wants to be the captain and you already have your own captain?
It's been real. Thank you. I appreciate it. But
Goodbye.
we gotta, yeah. That's what I did.
And is that a nip it in the bud situation, or is that something you're looking over time?
No, I mean, like I said, it happened, and I had to handle it out of respect and out of my beliefs, and I just had to do what I had to do because I'm the one that brought you in, because I needed help for a specific something. I asked you to help me there. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to help me here. I asked you to help me here, and that's it. Not there or not over there, just for one thing. But then you, little by little, you try to, you know.
Interesting.
So I had to fix what I, kind of messed up a bit. It was my fault because I took responsibility for it because I'm the one that brought him in.
Right. Okay. All right. So talk to me about Povetkin. Can he improve on what he's done there, do you think, in your opinion? Just keep talking. Keep talking.
Povetkin been fighting the same way. Same way. Sometimes he not as intense as other fights, but nothing new I've seen. He only goes less than what he could do, or he do a little more of what he could do. Nothing really different, you know. Even since the amateurs, I think even in the amateurs, he was the same kind of heavyweight. Nothing that I've seen that's different from ever since I know Povetkin.
Sorry about that. So you say about Povetkin, Povetkin's improvements.
I mean, I haven't seen him doing anything different. One thing I maybe see sometimes is that you do less, and sometimes you do more. You do less. Sometimes he does more. But it's the same Povetkin ever. You don't see a different style. You don't see,
So, what would you suggest to Dillian Whyte they should do in a rematch?
Wait, too close. You just put yourself what, maybe 8 to 10 weeks before the fight, and then now we talking about less than 3 months. Nah, I think you should wait, take some time off, and spring, push it to spring, somewhere in March, April.
Maybe they're trying to push it because so Dillian can get his title shot should he beat Povetkin in the rematch.
That too. That too.
But if White beats Povetkin, doesn't Povetkin deserve a rematch or not?
I don't know. That's a game that you can play, vice versa.
Because Povetkin's the former world champion, the Olympic gold medalist. Surely Povetkin's the A side, or is he not the A side?
He is definitely the A side, yeah, because of his background.
That's what I'm saying. So if he were to get beat in the rematch,
I mean, you go for a trilogy. You know, I mean, and Fury and Wilder doing it. Why not? The best out of three.
fair enough. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, can Dillian Whyte beat him? Can Dillian Whyte beat Povetkin, or is it a step too far?
He can, but because of that loss, it's going to be very hard. But he can.
Why?
Psychologically. Yeah, psychologically. That was brutal. Not brutal. It's not it's the way it was done. Have you seen it?
Of course, I saw it. I was commentating on it, and then somebody out there decided to.
You could see like Povetkin made the move and he looked. He paused like half a second, look, and then delivered a shot. Come on, like
it was almost Tyson. It was Tyson-esque, wasn't it? That reminded me when Bruno fought Tyson. Remember that fight, the first one? Tyson had him against the ropes, and he went boom, boom upstairs. I remember it. Bruno said like this.
You see the move he made, and then look. I mean, he knew what he was doing.
Boom! Up this one. Boom!
Povetkin knew what he was doing, and Povetkin was looking for that all night. I don't know if you noticed, but Povetkin was looking for that all night. Ever since the bell rang the first round, he was looking for that shot.
So can there be technical adjustments to that though? Can White make the technical adjustments?
That means if you see a fighter like that behaving that way, that means the fighter knows you.
That's not good, is it?
The fighter knows your weakness. It's not that Povetkin just threw a shot like this, wild shot, and caught up with it with an uppercut. Nah, Povetkin took his time and went and looked and delivered.
So
he took his time. He took his time and just it was 1, 2, 3. It's easy to throw big shots and knock somebody out. But when you knock somebody up and you look like you know what you're doing, that's something else.
That's a different dimension altogether.
And like I said, it's a shot that he was trying the whole night and missed a bunch of times, but continued to do it, believing that it will
It's gonna land. That's experience, though, isn't it? That's experience. Yeah. I said for this fight, tempo and game plan was key. And the tempo I felt that White decided to have against Povetkin was all wrong. Because you're fighting, with all due respect, Berman, a 40-year-old. You need to be fighting a guy. You need to be pushing him onto back foot. I'm forcing. Sorry. I have to. Sorry. I have to be respectful now. I have to be respectful. We're brothers, but I have to be respectful.
It's a different era. It's a different era.
Oh, yeah, okay. But listen.
It is a totally different era.
I know. Listen. Hold on. Hear my point. I'm going to go. Listen. What I'm saying is when you fight a guy that's older, or a lot older, you want within anything, with any sport, somebody who's older or veteran, you're going to want to see what their legs are like. So you want to put pressure on them.
But you want to talk about the 40-year-old, but so you talk about the 40-year-old, the older. So why the young one? Why does the young one likes drugs or likes to take drugs? They can't be awake. They can't.
Hey, listen. I'm not talking about any I'm not talking about stuff outside the ring now. There's nothing to do with performances outside the ring.
No, it is the stuff to perform better.
Yes.
You know,
Experience is
guys
key,
like
but
guys that's supposed to fight for the heavyweight champion of the world, get tested positive and young, and then do it again. How you do that? How you do
what?
that?
Test positive once, twice, and 3 times, and get pay-per-view as well.
Mm. And giving a chance to somebody else that became heavyweight champion. Mm.
See, tell me, would it have been better for White to fight at a higher pace against a guy like Povetkin?
You have to be busy when you fight fighters like that. Fighters like Chisora, Povetkin, fighters like Andy Ruiz. You have to be busy. You have to have a lot of legs. You have to be busy.
So you
You
think
have to
that
be.
stepping off and using the jab and trying to box Povetkin by White wasn't really the right game plan?
And the thing is, if you watch the fight, every time like 2 jabs out of 3 always landed on Povetkin. Always. Whether he
Yeah,
threw it seriously or whether he threw it just to, even the lazy jab was getting to
Povetkin.
Povetkin. He did not use it. I thought I thought that stuff was the plan, like a lot of jabs, a lot of jabs. I
So were
thought
you surprised at the game plan, or from
the
both White?
first knockdown, the first knockdown or second knockdown, there was a section where he threw like maybe 3, 4 jab back in the row, and all of them touched him, and then because we all know Dillon, uh, his power punch. I mean, to me, is his left hook.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is put the right hand and then turn that left hook. He would have. If you do that all night, I believe Povetkin would have been, touching the campers like more than twice, and probably
Mm-hmm.
stopped the fight.
I thought he should have got onto the front foot and really took it to Povetkin, hit him and try and hurt him
I would
early, get him out of there.
I would have used my double jab right hand hook or a double jab hook or a jab hook, but always finish with a hook. That's what I thought that they was going to use, and I thought they would get into it when he knocked him down like the first 2 times. I'm like, okay, he's using his hook, so but then he got caught with that shot. Mm.
Everyone said, well, all White has to do is do this, this, and this, and then he'll beat Povetkin. But Povetkin can go back and say, well, I got hit with too many punches this time, last time round, and I just need to make a few more adjustments myself.
But that's what happened also. Povetkin adjust as the fight was going on. He adjust,
That's what I'll
and
say. Because when you
it's
give
experience.
I'm thinking, you give a guy Povetkin time to think. I like the way Hunter went after him. Hit him with combination punches from the start. Don't give him a chance to think. But Hunt is not a big puncher. You know what I mean?
All right.
If White had taken that approach, what do you think would have happened?
Knocked out.
He would have
He would
knocked out
knock
Povetkin.
Povetkin out. Yeah.
This is what I'm
All
saying.
you,
Just standing
all you
back
have to
and
do is
jabbing.
all you have to do is like a bunch of jabs, and he was going good to the body too. He was had some
Mm-hmm.
good shot to the body,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
Oh, dear. Oh dear. So in terms of trainers, would you change the training team there, or would you keep the same team with the same issues?
Depends. It depends on who. If there's one apple that spoiled everybody, or if everybody is spoiled. So you make your decision.
But it might not be the apples. It might be the peer. The peer might be the problem. The peer might be the one. The peer might say, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
I'm the main man. And there's some fighters that are like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes a fighter's got to realize on his own.
Yeah, I get that one. I hear that one.
You gotta realize on your own when it's time to change, or
Make
you
adjustments.
know, or even when you were supposed to make those changes, you never did. You know, you realize,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, I can't really speak on that because I'm the wrong one to to give advices
To
on
talk
that.
about.
But
I still
yeah, you
appreciate
know,
your experience, though. And I would much rather sit down and listen to somebody who's been a former heavyweight champion of the world and has been to the top than sit down and listen to somebody who's just got an opinion and has never got in the ring and fought themselves. You understand?
right.
And it gives people a chance to get insight and understand certain things. There's questions we got in the room for you, so let me get these questions out for you. Question from Piotr says, "Did you ever spar? Have you ever sparred with Dillian Whyte?"
No, I only met him. I met him last year. Yeah, last year. I met him for the first
Okay.
time last year.
Did Bermane see Alan Babbage fight on that card?
No.
The
Who was that?
Savage. Alan Babbage, the
Who's
Savage.
that?
Oh, no. Okay, you didn't see it. If you're
No.
saying who's that, then you didn't see it. Who remembers when Dillian laughed at Wilder for getting KO by Fury? Who's the donkey now? Oh, dear.
Say what?
Let's see here. White beats him easily if he goes for broke early. Those 254 pulls would have battered him early. So getting onto the front foot and going after him.
Did he come heavy or like
I think he was
250
18
something?
stone. 18 stone. Just under 18 stone or 18 stone he was. I think Povetkin wins adjustments. White needs to be that soul snatcher, lose the body part. Okay. Let's see what other people are saying. Ruben Guerrero asked the question, did you think Povetkin looked old in there?
No, not at all.
Not at all. And slow.
He looked the same as he always looked.
Okay. Povetkin's a gold medalist. Trust me, he learnt from that fight. Both will make adjustments. Let's see. See, here's he's 100% right. White didn't know how to win like that. Left himself open. He could
You know
have
what? I don't think he left himself open. I think Povetkin created that
create
opening.
the open. That's what
Yeah,
I think.
because and anybody that faced Povetkin then like could have got knocked out because Povetkin created that opening. It's not
Yep.
that White left himself open.
And
Povetkin,
that's a problem right there. You know that because it's the mentality. If you believe that Povetkin got lucky, then you're underestimating Povetkin yet again. And then you go
Povetkin.
into training camp that way. I mean,
This is a knockout. This is a knockout that Povetkin went and got. It didn't just happen like that. Povetkin went and created that opening and being slick and just to put that left uppercut up there. Much fighter.
You see, this story that's going around at the moment, people are saying, "Oh yeah, it was either a lucky punch or Povetkin got
No,
lucky."
never. How can you say a lucky punch? Can somebody replay that knockout and put the slow motion and watch Povetkin's face and eyes? This is not lucky.
I say it wasn't lucky. That was
The man slipped, went
boom.
over the arm and looked, and then delivered a shot. That's not lucky.
That's pad work. That's on the pads. That's on the pads. That is.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's practice, repetition, and knowing
Over
your opponent. Because, like I said, Povetkin was doing that over and over and over and over the first few rounds.
What it is, what's even worse is where you've got these people, these commentary expert positions who are dismissing what Povetkin's done. They're dismissing what he's done and saying, "Oh, well, White made a mistake."
That's just favoritism. It's favoritism, and you know who used to do that a lot, like looking and knocking people out. Nassim Ahmed. He used to do that a lot, especially with the left uppercut.
He's looking at you. Boom.
Even though he was clowning, he used to clown a lot or whatever. He would always, you could see he would always, look, and where he looks is where the punches land. A few fighters could do that. Another one that used to do that was Zab Judah used to do that. Pernell Whitaker. Fighters like that.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Tyson would hit you, and then he would take a look and hit you again, like he said with Frank Bruno.
Oh, you remember the Jose Revolta uppercut?
Yeah.
We hit boom, the uppercut, and Revolta went on the floor. My gosh. I don't understand when this lucky punch and this idea of it was a mistake by White. Just discrediting.
People that talk like that is people that probably never lace gloves in their life. You can't talk like that, You
have to be careful. That narrative is dangerous.
First of all, before the fight, I thought White was going to win. I was White, and throughout the fight, I White up in the scorecard. I still believe that when the knockout happened, I didn't even understand what. I was trying to figure out like which punch or how I replay, and I did about 10 times till I seen how he did it. But that wasn't no lucky punch. Wasn't no punch.
The next punch could be the overhand right, because now you look at it, every time now that White will fight Povetkin, Povetkin can do that. He can do that now. He can do that now. Knowing he and then with the right hand is
well, what I'm saying is look at it again. Round 1, second, third, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He tried and tried and tried and tried. It never worked. He kept on trying until that means he knows you. He's watching White fights, and they decided to use that to hurt him or to win the fight.
Yeah. Just finally, Bermane, because I know you have to go. Can you just give us an update of what's going with you at the moment before you go?
So you should see me in the ring. What I was told is to see me in the ring at the end of November.
End of November. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring, chat.
I should I should was supposed to go to get a contract, but it was my promoter's birthday.
Well,
So,
happy birthday.
it wasn't he wasn't trying to talk about,
Business.
boxing or business, So maybe this week I shall go back and
Get the
actually
contract.
I'm officially start camp probably this week or next week.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Champ, as always, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And one final question. Somebody asked the question, have you ever been offered a Dillian Whyte fight?
No.
Okay, great.
No.
Fair enough. Okay. Bermane, thank you so much for being on BWTM Sports. As always, we really thank you, and we thank you for your, just giving us your time and giving us insight into Whyte Povetkin.
It's a pleasure.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we let you depart, champ?
Nothing crazy. Wish everybody happy Sunday, and can't wait to get back in the ring and perform and perform this time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so I'm happy about what's going on right now. So
okay, that sounds good, champ.
Taking my time, because for some people, so.
I'm looking forward to seeing you finally back in the ring, champ.
Yeah, so take my time. I will be back in the ring. Once I get back, then
Okay. All right, champ.
I got this.
Stiverne is back, and so is boxing. Good interview. Champ, thank you so much as always. We appreciate you.
Already.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you so much once again to Bermane Stiverne. And we're out of here, I guess. Thank you for watching. And join us again.